Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Ed Bixby here from the Global Green Burial Alliance, along with my co-host, Gretchen Spletzer. Gretchen, would you like to introduce our guest today?
Yes, we have Peter Quakenbush from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and him and his wife, Annika, own West Michigan Burial Forest, and they have it's 20 acres of land up there, and they've been working really hard to get this conservation cemetery started and have run up against some legal issues with their township. Um, so we wanted to put a spotlight on them and give Peter an opportunity to talk about what's going on. Looks like they've spent a lot of time getting all of their paperwork in order, permits, health department, all of that stuff, and then they got stopped in their tracks. So, Peter, do you want to tell us what's going on with that right now? I just saw a recent update on the 23rd.
Yeah, sure. So this has been in the work for quite a few years. It's been something I've been interested in for a long time. And I started looking for properties. And a couple years ago, we actually purchased a property in Brooks Township, Newaygo, which is less than an hour from Grand Rapids. It's a real beautiful area. It's private inholding in the Manistee National Forest. It's just north of the Muskegon River. And it was a property that we really fell in love with. And according to the town ordinances at that time, nothing in them disallowed what we were hoping to do with it, and that was to start Michigan's first conservation burial grounds, because nothing like that exists yet in this state, and many people are interested in this. And it's something that is only a matter of time until one is started. So at that time, the ordinance said that institutions were allowed where we purchased the property, and cemeteries were defined as institutions, and this just required a special use permit, land use permit. So fairly early on, we met with the township, and they gave us essentially a list of things that we needed to do that would help them feel better about entertaining our proposal. And one of those was establishing a relationship with the Land Conservancy, an official relationship. And that type of relationship is normally in the form of a conservation easement. And those normally take quite some time. And it took a while to find the right land conservancy nearby. And then it also took a long time to just, get the site visit and get to the point where they were ready to say that, like, yes, this is something that we can do for you. And unfortunately, just as that was coming through, and we thought we were quite close to being able to proceed, we got a letter instead saying that a new ordinance had been passed. And it didn't just ban our cemetery, it banned all cemeteries in general. So we reached out to an organization called the Institute for Justice, and they really liked this case, and the potential it had for setting some precedents here with particularly property rights. And so we have now filed a case against the township, and we are waiting on the response.
Well, Peter, it sounds to me like an unfortunate set of circumstances that you guys have encountered, but a great opportunity to lead by example. So I commend you for that. Uh, how has the community, how have they embraced the concept of your project?
Yeah, so originally I thought that we might be importing most of the interest from Grand Rapids, so to speak, because this is outside of Grand Rapids. But what we actually found right away is that there were people in the township who were very interested in this, and some of our biggest supporters now live very nearby. And this is where they've grown up or they've moved to specifically for the qualities that the area has, and they would love to be buried there in a natural way. And so that has been quite encouraging to see really the support from all over the state for something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't think some of the leaders of our communities or states realize, you know, over 60% of the population is interested in natural burial.
Yeah, and I think those are the 60% who are aware of it, because it seems like when we talk to people and when they really understand what we're trying to do, there's just something very inherently appealing about it that many people really appreciate.
Well,
Yeah.
and the one thing, Peter, and why that may be is because it's what we've always done.
Yeah,
It's within our DNA to care for our loved ones in death.
yeah.
So it appeals to people to a place where they don't even really understand, but it's within them themselves. Uh, let me ask you this question, Peter. How has the state of Michigan looked at this, or have they not been part of the discussion at all?
They really haven't been part of the discussion at all. At the state level, there aren't laws that disallow this type of thing. So thankfully, at that level, there are no hurdles. Um, we talked with the state cemetery commissioner a while back, and essentially she was interested. It's like, oh yeah, that's cool. I like that idea. So we haven't had any pushback at that level, but we really haven't gotten to that level yet because we haven't applied for the permitting because we need to first get permission from the local unit of government, which is the township.
Right, right. Um, that's interesting. I imagine that when you get to that point, and I do believe you will, that they will embrace the concept mainly for the reason that all cemeteries can allow this, and like you pointed out, it's not something that's illegal.
Yeah.
And that would lead me to a question: are there any cemeteries within that regional area that are already offering just like natural burial, let's say in a traditional cemetery setting?
So in Michigan, there are a few cemeteries that are already certified by the Green Burial Council. There's two natural burial grounds, and then there's two hybrid cemeteries. But even beyond that, there's an organization called the Keweenaw Green Burial Alliance. So that's in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and they have gotten a bunch of the local cemeteries in that area to offer green burial sites. So um,
That's great.
green
What are
burial,
they called? What's the name of them again, Peter?
Keweenaw,
Kiwana.
green
Oh,
burial.
yes, I've seen them. I've seen them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah. So
I've never heard that name actually pronounced out loud. I've just read it. But
so this does exist. Like green burial options do exist in Michigan, um, but none of them have been combined with conservation yet.
Right. Which, legally, from a legal standpoint, would make your case, in my opinion. Of course, they're denying the use of the property for this, but the cemeteries that already exist within that area could certainly offer natural burials. So it's kind of an ironic type of thing that they're not looking at it, that they're taking your case and making it like a point that yours may not fit the bill, but others can. So
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
So specifically in our township, a little corner of the township has been carved out, and it belongs to the city of Newaygo. And Newaygo has a cemetery that, if our township was square, it would belong to the township. And there is a historical site that has some old graves in it. So that technically is a cemetery as well, but it's not currently being used. But yeah, they still saw it fit to ban cemeteries for the health, safety, and well-being of residents and property owners such as ourselves, and even visitors to the township. So there.
wow, mind blowing.
It
Yeah.
certainly is. It
But
certainly is, Peter.
I think that because the movement is growing so much and there's so much interest in people changing their minds that they'd rather have a sustainable burial, these lawsuits are happening and happening at higher levels. So people like you and Ed and others, we introduced interviewed a death doula too, who's being introduced or represented by the same people that are representing you. And I think you pioneers are setting, are clarifying for everyone what we can actually do, because most people don't know what their legal rights are with, after death and things like that.
Yeah, they just assume something like this is illegal when really it's not in most
Yeah,
places.
pretty much everywhere. I mean, every state, you know, it's your family has the right to the body, and people
Mhm.
don't realize that. They think they immediately need to call 911 and turn it over to somebody else.
Yeah,
Well,
but certainly there is a lot of interest, even from the funeral homes. Like we've gotten calls of funeral directors who are interested and wishing us luck, and um, there's a couple other places that are interested in maybe starting green burial cemeteries themselves, and they're just kind of watching things and watching our lead and hoping that we can pave the way a little bit for this.
That's great.
well, Peter, again, we do appreciate you coming on because this is an important conversation to be had. You're not alone. This is probably happening in just about every state as we speak, and we're probably unaware of a lot of the instances that people are being turned away. But, in life, the only way you can institute change is by enforcing, by moving forward like you have. So my question would be this, as far as your lawsuit is concerned, did they give you, I mean, these can be quite timely, and take a while. Did they give you any idea as far as how the process would go? Because I am aware that you do have a waiting list and you have customers who are anxiously wanting to be part of what you're doing.
Yeah, we really have no idea how long it'll take. I guess best case scenario is that the township would decide to not take this to court, not fight it, realize that some big toes have been stepped on, and that this is probably unconstitutional, and so that could wrap up quicker. But other than that, it could easily take a year or at least months in the court system. It's just really hard to say.
Well, I'm really happy
Very
to hear that you have so much community support. That must really help a lot to have your community and neighbors supporting this.
Yeah, it does. And even from the press that we've gotten from this lawsuit, like if you read the comments, they're almost all positive,
Yeah,
which is
that's
good to see.
good. Yeah.
right. Absolutely. Well, we do appreciate you coming on today and enlightening our viewers. Is there any way that we or our viewers can support what you're doing, Peter?
Yeah, we have a website. I would encourage you to go check it out. It's called Michigan Burial, so miburial.com. And you can learn more about us and our project and ways to help us. There are many ways. So you can just sign a letter of support, or we have merchandise even, because that's fun, having those conversation starters. There's a way to donate if you wish. If you're local and or even not, and you know that you want to be buried there, we do have this thing called the wait list, and it's nothing official. It just helps us better gauge the interest from people, so we get your name and your details that way. So many options there.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Peter, for coming on and sharing your story with us, and making yourself available through your website for people to learn more, and for being a pioneer for all of us who are trying to, do the same thing, and for all of the people who are eventually going to die and would like to have a sustainable, beautiful, meaningful burial.
Yeah, including
So,
me.
yeah, me too.
Well, absolutely, Peter, and we're here to support you at the Global Green Burial Alliance. Our viewers, I'm sure will support your cause. And if you are not already a pledge member, or anyone watching this, please become a pledge member. Allow us to help you through this journey, and let's help Peter through this, and become a pledge member at the GGBA.
Yep.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you,
welcome. Thank
everyone.
you.
See you next time. Bye.